Due to the pandemic, Russia has been closed to tourists for the better part of this year. There is one place in particular that I want to show you today, which has always been quite popular with tourists coming from abroad. Of course, with pretty much no one coming from abroad at the moment, it has to be quite empty, if you know what I mean. This place right here, which looks like it's located in the middle of nowhere and it's a bit derelict, is the fake Kremlin of Izmailovo. It's a district located in the northeastern corner of Moscow, and it's quite famous with tourists because it houses a market with billions of souvenirs and other items that are, or rather were, sold regularly to tourists coming from all over the world at a cheap price. Unfortunately, with the fact that pretty much no one is flying to Russia to be a tourist at the moment, I'm quite, let's say, afraid of what I'm going to find inside of these walls. Usually, especially at this time of the day, you would have hordes and millions of tourists walking in the walls, walking inside the walls of the Kremlin, and also coming out of the very same walls. But unfortunately now, travel is not only restricted from outside of Russia, but also within the Russian Federation as well. That's why you just don't see. You see 1, 2, 3, 4 cars totals. That's all you can find. And you see some places, some stands are open, so the people, the sellers are here. It's just no one to sell the merchandise to. And you see all these unsold merch. Really a shame. Здравствуйте. Просто нет, просто мне интересно так вот смотреть, и никого совсем нет, как людей. Есть как продавцы, конечно, да. Но туристы совсем
все нет.
Закрыта
дорога, как да. Туристы приедут.
Из марта эта ситуация так.
Да.
А лето может быть более туристы?
Да. Границы закрыты, границы.
Да, еще, да.
Самолеты не летают? Вот,
да, знаю, но летают из некоторых стран, но никто не приедет.
Да, ну из-за того, что пандемия.
Да, ну надеемся, что будет хорошо.
Да.
Всего доброго.
Всего хорошего, давай, мой друг. Испаньол?
Италия.
Италия. Да. Как там Берлускони? Берлускони как?
Думаю, что он почти умер, может быть. What a legend. Wow, this place is so empty, it's scary. Wow, look at this. I remember I did see some pictures on the internet. It's supposed... Здравствуйте.
Шапки не желаете?
А как это? Почему так?
Пусто. Просто это не открылись они.
Туристы совсем... Вот. Из-за ситуации.
Давай, друг, посмотрим шапки.
Да, ну особенно мне ничего не надо, но...
1000 рублей. Давай, 500 рублей.
Я не могу.
Чикоченто рубля.
Спасибо за помощь.
Я не говорю. Чикоченто.
Мы увидимся попозже.
Да нет, я не думаю, что придет.
Wow, they're really insistent here, as you can see. But basically, yeah, I remember I was looking at pictures from the internet over here, and it was filled with people. But the guy, of course, was saying that there's pretty much nobody, no tourists, so they're not even opening. It's really bad for them because they just make money out of tourists. So you just can't imagine how difficult it is for them. Wow, look at this, all empty. Wow, this lady is open. Здравствуйте. Ну, просто мне интересно, как совсем никого.
Да.
Никого здесь. В марте это начиналось быть так, что здесь так пусто.
Да, вот из-за коронавируса.
Да, вот. К сожалению, матрешки у меня уже есть.
А игрушки?
Игрушки, я не ребенка. I just feel sorry for them because they're not selling stuff to anybody. Wow. This place used to be absolutely full with tourists, with sellers from all over the place. This corridor here, full with people, with stuff, with souvenirs. And it's just so sad to see it like this right now. I've been told that most of the time you can't even walk because of the people. In a normal year, definitely not in 2020. You can walk over here, but you see people to the left, people to the right, and it's just so difficult. Like you were in New York City, in Manhattan, on a working day. But today, there's no one really. Здравствуйте. There's kids over here, but people who actually buy stuff, no one. And it actually makes you think how the people that work here, who sell their stuff at a very little price. There was that guy who was trying to sell me a cap, a hat for 500 rubles, which is around $6 US. You must be wondering how they make their money. On a normal year, let alone a year like this, where, look at this, no one, absolutely no one. It's like a ghost town. It's scary. It's almost scary. Look at the paintings here. Lots and lots of paintings, but just no one to sell these paintings to. And it's just so unfortunate. Bagetnaya artiel. I don't know what that means, but it says Tavary для художников. So here they're selling tools for painters. Just empty. Здравствуйте. Пустой, да? Все пустой.
Мне не надо много народу, мне надо который кошельками. 2 человека мне может.
Просто интересно. Да, я был здесь 2 года назад, и было так много людей.
Сейчас наши еще болеют.
Да.
Крутят, а нас двором люди гибнут.
Да. Ну вот. Надеемся. Всего доброго.
Ну как моя картина.
Что? Ай, у меня места нет дома. У меня очень
Да нет,
маленькая.
я говорю, как моя
маленький.
картина нарисована.
Не. Ну очень красиво.
Это
Поздравляю.
последний копия.
The guy was saying that he doesn't need much. He just needs this spot here. So usually on a Saturday or on a Sunday or just during the weekend, you have people, you have sellers sitting on each of these chairs that you see over here. And now you only have cats, wild cats, who are looking at me in a really menacing way. Уважаемые гости, просим вас соблюдать дистанцию не менее 1,5 метра, не снимайте маски и перчатки без необходимости. Будьте здоровы. The usual stuff, so wear your masks, respect social distancing, and please take care of each other. They have these measures, but apparently they were not enough, and most of them just decided, in this place, all of them, they just decided to close it down, shut the whole place down. We're not making money here. Wow, this right here used to be a restaurant. So imagine on a normal day, you have just tourists walking around there. Where you can see now it's all empty. And then after they did their shopping, they bought souvenirs for, you know, parents and friends and whatnot. They bought gifts. Then they would come here at lunchtime and have some lunch. And this room was able to fill the amount of people that used to walk around this Izmailovsky market. It's scary. It's sad. It's scary. But it is what it is. So now here, at least there is something open. With, of course, I'd say this is probably the 2% of the usual amount of people that you would see here. You see the stage. I remember dancers and singers performing on this very stage right here. But now, all you can see is only dust. Probably hasn't been used in I don't know how many months. Now, of course, there are some shops who managed to stay open. You see that at Krita over there, of course, they implemented their measures against COVID and they decided to stay open. But unfortunately, it looks like there are not that many people and they had to resort to discounts. The fake Kremlin of Izmailovo. On a normal day, again, you would have the queue right here for people to take pictures right in front of this sign, like you were in Amsterdam or Paris. And now it's just sad. Просто мне грустно, потому что я был здесь 2 года назад. И я помню, как было так много людей.
Ну,
и
из-за пандемии, из-за
да?
всей этой
На
суеты.
выходные тоже так.
Да, и на выходных тоже. Ну, чуть больше, может, будет.
Более стенды открыты.
Да. Ну, вот 2 ряда только вот и все. Больше.
I felt sorry for that guy because he has lots of interesting stuff, but he just has no one to sell that stuff to. Wow. Exactly the same as these people. Look at this. Well, you can't see people exactly. They can't sell stuff to people. They can't sell stuff to tourists, so they decided to stay home. Usually you would have watches, matryoshkas, ushanka, which is the usual Russian hat. You would have all sorts of stuff. T-shirts about Putin, T-shirts about Stalin, maybe not Stalin, but definitely Lenin. And you would have them just here. 1, 2, 3, 4, probably 100 matryoshkas could fit just on this row. And multiply that by the amount of rows and shelves that you see here. So I guess it's time for me to leave this very sad place, I must say. Because yeah, sad is pretty much the best word to describe the situation for these people, for people who had been working here for years before the pandemic started back in March. And it's just weird to see and think just how these people must survive. I'm actually curious, and I'd like to come back on a weekend and actually see what the situation is like on a Saturday or on a Sunday. Maybe they would have more people from Moscow or outside of Moscow, from Russia. They might get some more tourist traffic during the weekend, but not that much even, so I'm not so sure. I just can't imagine how these people must be surviving these crazy years, if you think about it. They don't get they don't get very much help from the government just because they don't have the means to provide for these people. So it kind of makes you think how these small souvenir sellers must survive during these times. It definitely does make you think. It's not only restaurants, it's not only hotel managers and the people working in the tourism sector, it's also these people who at the end of the day are working in the tourism sector. So let's hope that the situation in some way will evolve for the better. At the same time, we all need to be responsible and take the necessary precautions if we haven't started doing that already, and we just hope for better times. Alright, I still want to end this video on a high note, so again, thank you very much for joining in. I'll see you next time. Bye.